Happy Friday morning to all of you out there in cruiser country, or those of you in North Nation tuning in. Hope that you are ready for a fantastic Friday. This is your principal, Mr. Mosier. Let's get into today's announcements. Birthdays. We got 3 birthdays today. Happy birthday to Hannah Snyder, Caden West, and Michael Morales. Hope that you guys have a fantastic Friday birthday. Yearbook cover contest. This is a reminder that this goes until December 2nd. If you have any questions, please email Miss Snyder at mary.snyder@gocruisers.org. If you send your questions to myself, they probably won't get answered because I don't have all the answers. So email those questions to Mrs. Snyder, and also see the email that went out a couple days ago. Should say from Final Forms in your email. Domino's fundraiser. Remember, this runs through Sunday. So far, we have raised $755, which is outstanding. I want to thank Mrs. Bofice and Mr. Bryson for putting this together. You guys have done a fantastic job selling these. Remember, it goes through Sunday, so you've got a couple more days to sell your Domino's fundraiser cards. And remember, this goes to things for you. So it's not like, this goes to school supplies or textbooks or anything like that. This money goes for us to have cool things for you to celebrate all the great things that you guys do. All right, we've got some student artwork submissions. This one here is from Anila Chapman with a nice drawing. And we also have a little virtual design from Kyle Murphy. So thank you guys for sharing that artwork with us. Students, keep sharing it to us, and we'll keep putting it out here. You guys are doing an awesome job with your art. All right, we've got quite a few staff shout-outs for today. Demoria Mitchell wants to shout out Mrs. Palacey for being so understanding and patient. Alexis Gilliland wants to shout out a bunch of teachers. She says Mr. Maddox, Mrs. Hollis, Mrs. Hoberman, and Mrs. Ferguson for always making class fun. And then also from Anila Chapman, a shout out to Mrs. Donnelly for being the best teacher and helping other students when they need help. So shout out to Mrs. Donnelly. All right, another one to Miss Donnelly from Carol Grasty. She says that Miss Donnelly is very kind and caring. She talked to me on a separate Google Meet just to make me feel better. She can't thank you enough. That's awesome, Miss Donnelly. A shout out to Miss Hoberman, because she has been the nicest 6th grade teacher yet. She allows me to retake assignments to improve my grades. So thank you, Ms. Hoberman, for everything. That was a longer message that I got from Chris Anderson for Ms. Hoberman. I had to kind of condense it for space reasons. But Ms. Hoberman, please know that you are appreciated by Chris and other students. And then a little word play here from Daniel Segay. He says, I want to shout out Ms. Good for not making my day. Let me move my head out of here. For not making my day good, but better. So a little wordplay there from Daniel, and a shout out to Mrs. Good. Some student shout outs. Mrs. Donnelly wants to shout out Kamara Walker, Jalea Bohanna, and Kian Walden for taking ownership of their learning and setting up Google Meet with her on Wednesday for extra help on their math assignments. Great job, guys. A shout out from Miss Donnelly. Also, shout out to Mr. Frost and Mrs. Hollis for helping to facilitate TBT meetings today. That's from Mr. Bryson. And also shout outs. This is from Miss Painter. Shout outs to Chloe Jordan, Austin Buchanan for actively participating in both Focus and Math today. Keep up the great work, Miss Painter. Looks like I put those staff shout outs in the wrong box from Mr. Bryson. But Mr. Frost and Ms. Hollis, you are not students. We'll get that changed for next time. But great job to those students who are getting their shout outs. And also a couple more, Michael Hughes and Miles Robles for working hard in social studies and doing a great job with participation from Ms. McCauley. And then also Carol Grasty, Leah Remmer, and Anthony Hall for taking ownership of their learning and setting up a Google Meet on Wednesday. And I think that might be an old one from Miss Donnelly. But shout out to all of you guys. You guys are doing outstanding work. If you want to send those to myself or to Mr. Bryson, there are our emails. You can send us. We haven't had very many questions from students lately. So if you have questions that you want to know the answers to learn a little bit more about myself or Mr. Bryson, please feel free to send those to us as well. And the quote for today: if you're always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. Middle school is a tough time for a lot of kids where everyone's trying to kind of figure out who they are and where they fit in. They want to be well liked by other people, and that's wonderful. That's great. But don't forget that our job here as people is not to fit in with everybody else. If everyone's trying to be what they think normal is, then there will be no true identities of people. Everyone would just be the same, and life would not be as fun. So don't try to fit in. Don't try to be like everyone else is. Think about the things that are amazing about you and what's wonderful about you, and try to be the best version of yourself that you possibly can. I hope that you do have a fantastic Friday and have a wonderful weekend. And as always, it is great to be a cruiser.